Okay everybody, this is Vince with the Reptile Guys, and we're going to be doing more of the static videos that everybody's used to with YouTube. And I've done several paludariums now that I really like. All of my paludariums have running, flowing water and an aquatic area in addition to a land area. So I'm doing a traditional 40-gallon breeder tank, and that seems very plain Jane. It's going to lay out flat like a traditional 40 breeder plain tank, but what I'm doing is I'm using a lot of heavy natural materials, and I'm using pond grade great stuff to hold it all in. And so part of that means being patient, letting the heavy rocks and wood set. So like this side here, which is going to be the back side that you see, that side was done last night, and so now you see it's that great stuff is more than holding up that heavy Mopani wood and Malaysian driftwood that I've set to be my waterfalls to hold my trickle from. I'm gonna do 2 waterfalls on this, and then you can see where I've tapped it on the bottom for a rear drain. So that's going to be buried deep into the land portion of this. But right now it's sitting vertically and it's getting some air so that it can support this sandstone and limestone that I've got here that is just kind of hopefully not going to dissolve too badly in the water. I think it'll do all right, at least for the amount of time I have it, you know. And but I've got to let it sit. I've got to be really patient to really let this great stuff set in. And the reason for that is because I'm using natural materials. You know, if I was to use some kind of synthetic foam, or almost all great stuff, I could do that. You know, cork bark is really great because cork bark is a real bark that is very light. But, you know, you just can't have every piece be all cork bark. And so what's going to happen is tomorrow I'm going to flip this, and this will be flipped over, and then I'm gonna do this other side. And I've sort of already prepped it. I found that great stuff can actually hold really strongly to great stuff, and it gives it a texturing for any parts that I might miss. And part of that is because I can come in and I can do this initial seam right here where it's going to be visible. So part of the dealing with the front and the visible part that, you know, people are going to see where your black meets is to not have too much synthetic looking stuff there that you can't get in there and texture ahead of time. And so I've got a few mistakes there that I can scrape off with a razor blade, but the tricky part is to not get too carried away with your synthetic stuff so that you don't have a natural looking product right up in the front. And then a portion of this is going to, of course, be sand and my bedding material for my aquatic plants. So of this 40 gallons that we're looking at, maybe, you know, this much of it's going to be filled with water. So we're looking at maybe 20 gallons of water total filling this thing at any given point. Probably even less than that, considering that some of that's going to be land. So it's actually probably going to be between 10 to 15 gallons of water in a 40-gallon structure. And then I've already got the glass ordered to cap it. I'm going to have a solid state piece of glass. I'm just going to pop some handles on to seal it in because I like 100% humidity with all my stuff. It's a little bit more management, controlling the humidity, but it allows your brahms to grow really fast. It allows your plants, your air plants, to really take off without having to worry or struggle about dry zones and stuff like that too much. And allows for mosses to grow when you just seal it. And it does require, though, some symbiotics with vertebrates and stuff like that because you need a CO2 exchange. People, you know, have talked to me about putting in CO2 to really brighten up the plants, the aquatic plants and stuff like that. But when you build something this complicated and build it in, you want something reliable, and it's just another factor that I'm afraid it's going to compromise the reliability of how this is going to look. So this is actually going to sit in a normal position, but right now, like I said, it's in the vertical position so that we can let this great stuff set in. And I'm going to do updates on this for the reptile guys. I do have this, I'll probably post this to my own channel as well. Thanks for watching.